Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Devil May Cry 5 here on the O1 channel. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well...
What the hell? Shoot.
Did you find it?
Oh, well, I don't know what I found, but, I think I saw some demons dance.
That's new.
Well, then I guess we keep going. The Devil's Sword Sparda is nearby.
Is it just me, or did V change his costume again? Now he doesn't have the green look to him, he's got this regular...
It's coming from the Qliphoth.
Yeah, he did change his outfit again.
Oh, whatever, V...
I guess he does as he pleases.
I guess so.
One of his outfits was in the wash, that's why.
It got some green dye on it.
Actually, I don't know how he could wash the leather, though, because you aren't really supposed to get it wet.
Is it machine wash only?
I don't think you can even put it in the machine.
Oh.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. Can you get leather? Can you wash leather at all?
Whoa!
Yeah.
What is that? It's its own wrecking crew, that's what it is.
Oh my gosh. It's all chained up. I'd hate to know what it would be like if it didn't.
Unstoppable appetite.
Behemoth.
Well, you gotta admit, the creatures in this game are pretty interesting. Alright, so I know a lot of you guys are like, why don't you use V's super ultimate ability? It's like, I don't really use Nightmare all that much, but I'm bringing in Nightmare for you guys, just so people can stop saying, hey, where's Nightmare?
Wait, what just happened? Your hair turned white for a second.
Yeah, I channeled my devil power, or demon power, whatever you want to call it. Devil trigger. Whoa. Okay. Well, you're done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeehaw!
This guy is really weird.
Well, he was. Oh, you mean V or just...
No, I meant that thing you were fighting.
Yeah, that's over.
I was just thinking that thing, maybe it like represented gluttonous appetite or something.
It could. I mean, it said unstoppable hunger, so...
Yeah.
S rank! Nice. Alright, I'm getting used to V's controls. A little bit.
That's very cool.
Sick. Well, actually, this is
Well, I'm trying to
savage,
do
but...
something with V, but never mind. It's a...
Nah,
Never mind.
I don't know.
Victory! Yeah.
You know, all those Dragon Ball games that we've done, whenever I see a character riding on the cloud, I think of Flying Nimbus and Goku. It just... I don't know.
Oh.
It looks like V is doing a Goku impression.
I think of Ninja Turtles skateboarding every single time. It's hard for me not to.
How in the world am I supposed to get that? I can see there's a yellow orb back there.
So, you did change the music to the, like, original...
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
That
the,
sounds really good.
I believe in Italian, the character's name that I can't say is called Nero Angelo.
Oh, okay. It's
a-
just as cool as the other music, minus a person screaming in the microphone.
Right, but I mean, they have a different way of explaining what the Dark Knight's name is, but in Italian, the character means, like, I believe it was Dark Angel, is what Dante fights in Devil May Cry, who was Virgil. So this is Virgil's music in Devil May Cry 1.
I actually know a little bit of Latin because I had to sing it for, when I was taking music in college, so... I had to learn a lot of different Latin songs, but I don't actually know what Dark Angel is in Latin.
I saw it on Wiki, so
I do remember Kyrie is peace, which...
Yes.
So...
That is correct. Although Kyrie hasn't really had a big role since Devil May Cry 4. And yes, guys, we are going to be playing Devil May Cry 4, so if you are new to the channel, while this channel has been known for doing Batman content, there hasn't been a new Batman game for close to 2 years now. The closest we came to was Telltale Batman, which, if you didn't know, unfortunately that company went out of business, so There's no
yeah,
season 3 of that
know.
game, which was actually
was gonna be
planned for this
amazing.
year.
Yep, we were gonna do a playthrough on the season 3 of that, and
Yep.
that was a phenomenal game.
And Troy Baker played Batman in that, so...
I wish somebody could bring that series back, because that was really cool, too.
The Batman license is being shared between 2 game developers currently, that's all I know. And whenever I ask a company that has the license, you know, what's going on, they tell me, you know, nothing's going on.
Nothing! Except for that they're gonna bring it back! Season 3!
No,
They're gonna
no.
make it all from scratch.
No, honey. The Batman license is with 2 developers right now. So
never mind.
that means, like, new stuff is being worked on for Batman.
Oh, okay.
Or something that Batman is going to appear in.
Could it be a Hello Kitty roller racing game?
No, just no. I
A
don't...
girl can dream, okay?
Roller racing is not that good. Just
It's
not.
good to me. It has bows and pinkness.
I thought you liked the Sonic racing games better.
I did like the Sonic,
Finally, a new one is coming out this
the
year.
Sonic Ultra Racing, whatever it was called.
Transformed.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was
More people should have played that game.
that was back in 2012.
Wow, Luke.
So a new one is finally coming out this year. It should be May of this year is when the next Sonic Transform Racing comes out. It'll be on the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
I feel like composers from the Baroque era would be really surprised to see their music revisited in like all kinds of horror games and stuff.
I don't know if I would really categorize Devil May Cry as a horror game.
Wouldn't you?
No, not really. It's an adventure game.
A very dark adventure.
Yeah, a very dark adventure.
It sends me to weird. I have to just like focus because I'm just like, okay. My mind is going scary places watching it, but it's fantasy.
In fact, Devil May Cry 1 was kind of like spooky Castlevania-like, but most of the enemies that Dante fought were like creepy marionettes.
Oh,
Because
that's
he
weird.
was inside of his childhood home for most of the game, if I remember correctly. So there were things that the kids played with as kids, like marionettes, and even in Castlevania later, there was a marionette enemy, which maybe they took from Devil May Cry, I'm not sure.
Well, never mind.
And
Weird.
I can't remember if the first Devil May Cry game released in 2001 or 2002, but I do know that Devil May Cry 2 came out in 2003, and it had a lot of mixed reception when it released because it wasn't quite as complex with the gameplay. It was more fun. Like, I really enjoyed doing the acrobatic stuff, which you guys are going to see when we get to that game eventually, is Dante had this really cool ability to do all kinds of acrobatics, like backflips, running up the side of walls. It changed up the gameplay. Even though it was an easier game to play, it was still more stylish and pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool what V just did there when he did the flip.
Oh, yeah, well, that's an automatic thing. As soon as I hit the button to do a finisher move, V's
Oh,
gonna
it just
do
automatically does it.
some crazy stuff.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I mean, it makes sense that
Aw.
like in the Devil May Cry games, like, and pretty much Castlevania games and stuff, the enemies could pretty much be anything that you can imagine in your nightmares because basically, like evil forces, they always are shapeshifters anyway, so.
Yep,
just
as you
saying.
got closer to hell in the Devil May Cry games, then the enemies would become, like, more grotesque or monster-like.
Yeah, they would show their true form or whatever.
But one of the main enemy types was the Grim Reaper Scythe guys. Except they've had different appearances over the years.
What? Thinking about Mommy Dearest?
Mommy Dearest.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. But the past is a bitter place for me.
So he had issues with his mom?
Yeah. Well, if this is... I mean, I'm just gonna flat out say it because you kind of like were like, well, you know, he's talking about Virgil to Dante, like the Virgil's back.
Oh my gosh!
Right. V.
Wait, what?
Well, I don't know how it would be possible, but I mean, this guy is kind of reminding me of Virgil a little bit.
Oh, I was thinking something else.
No. It's not.
I was like, oh my gosh! And then I was like, wait, you have no idea what I'm thinking.
No, I don't.
I was
can't
thinking,
read your mind.
okay, here is my theory, but it's kind of creepy.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I should say it.
Go for it.
Alright, so Dante's mom gets pulled into the underworld. And then she ends up having to be like married to a demon, and then V is her other son. Third son.
That would probably be pretty cool, but I don't see that happening. Somehow, I don't know. I just feel like this is probably Virgil, like, come back to life. I don't know how exactly.
What?
Yeah, maybe the game will explain it, because...
Maybe he had to respawn or...
Respawn. No, let's just think about some of the hints, though, that this game is given. When he was talking to Dante in the past, he said... Well, you said he's saying Virgil is back. And also, he doesn't give Dante his full name, he says he's just called V.
Oh, he doesn't want to tell Dante who he is.
Because, and also, those little demon creatures that keep hanging out with V, they say that V is weaker than he's ever been. Well, this is the first time we've ever seen V in the franchise other than Virgil, and Virgil was corrupted by the devil Mundus, who had took over hell and enslaved, you know, the demon side of, Virgil.
Well, have we ever seen those little creatures before, though? The bird and the
Yes.
panther?
They were servants of Mundus.
Oh.
Much bigger. I mean, these are more, like, pet-friendly versions, which maybe Virgil doesn't have that much demonic power left, which would explain why he's so weak and fragile. I mean, if you look at him, he doesn't look all that healthy, but the character also is able to call on the signature white hair, which is when they summon their demon powers. And if we're using the horrible Devil May Cry reboot as an example, for most of the game, Dante had black hair. It wasn't until the end of the game that he discovered more of his demon power that his hair finally turned white completely.
Oh.
So the Spartan sons, or Sparda sons, had black hair originally, before they would really come to terms with their demonic blood. So this could be a weakened state of Virgil, which would explain why he's so freaked out about being near what essentially looks like Dante's family's house. Like somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Wait, who's freaked out about being near it?
V saying all kinds of memories, and there weren't many places that were attacked by demons.
Dante's dead.
Possibly.
But how did he...
To keep Dante alive.
And also notice how, like, the bird and all these creatures keep bringing up Dante. Like, V has only known Dante, supposedly, for maybe a month or so.
Yeah, why would he keep talking about him?
Exactly.
As if he knows him. Like he's obsessed with him or something, like...
I like your idea better, that this could be a son from the underworld, because he says he comes from the underworld.
Oh, thank you.
But I don't see... I love Capcom, but with their storytelling, it's kind of predictable.
That would be cool if they introduced a third brother into it, but not... Sparda wouldn't be, or the dad, or whatever. Well, because they would, like, force her to marry a demon person or something.
Well, we already know, based on some stuff, because I don't know if you knew this, but the developers said that they didn't know if Devil May Cry 5 was going to be an option, so they kind of, like, didn't necessarily spoiled stuff. They explained what their idea for the franchise was going forward, because Nero in Devil May Cry 4, even though Virgil wasn't really in the game till the special edition, he was able to use the Yamato, which was the sword given to Virgil by his father. And the only people that can use Rebellion and Yamato are Dante and Virgil. Yet Nero was able to wield the sword like it was a second skin.
That's weird.
But also around Nero, whenever he used that sword, he had Virgil's demonic aura around him. You saw the blue demon form of Virgil, like kind of as a, what do they call it? not like a shroud
Around
or...
Nero?
Yes.
Why?
It's like a cloak. Exactly why. And, you know, so during different conventions and game things over the years, they used to joke around that Nero, this was the developers, this was Capcom, they said that Nero was the son of Virgil. And that's why he was able to use the Yamato in Devil May Cry 4.
The son of Virgil?
Yeah.
Well, who did...
You don't know who his mother is. Capcom likes to joke that there's one cutscene in Devil May Cry 4 where a lady in red gives Virgil kind of like this glance in a crowd, and based on that interaction, that's how Nero was born. Because they say we don't really focus on the mothers in Devil May Cry. Other than, of course,
gosh.
Ava.
Except for Dante's mom.
Yeah, which is Eva or Ava, whatever you want to call her.
Well, if her name is Latin, it'd be Ava, yeah.
See, there he goes again. He's talking about the Devil Sword Sparda. This is a guy who's only been around, joking around being alive 2 days when he meets Dante.
I mean, I wouldn't want that to happen to his mom, though, be forced to marry somebody else, so I'm glad that it is. Hopefully she just died.
Well, as the Devil May Cry lore goes, she is killed searching for Virgil, which is something Virgil never finds out. He blames his mother's death for Dante.
Oh, so he blames Dante, but it was actually his fault, in a way.
Because he was out playing in the yard when, you know... So, I mean, there's lots of clues that they gave the past couple episodes. So, yeah, I think that somehow... I don't know how. I think this is Virgil.
But why would he come back as a less good-looking form of himself?
Because Dante killed him.
Oh, okay.
Like,
He just looks so scrawny and sickly now, it's like so weird. He looks like a completely different person.
If you're able to get the secret ending at the end of Devil May Cry 3, for whatever reason, Virgil goes into... Because he falls into the underworld after fighting Dante. S-Rank! And
Savage.
in the secret ending, he goes and challenges Mundus, but as you know, in Devil May Cry 1, the first game in the franchise, he loses and Mundus turns him into Nero Angelo, which is, you know, the Dark Angel or whatever, that demon knight that taunts Dante throughout that game in either the home of the Sparda Sons or wherever he is in Europe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can picture a giant house, like a mansion, but I don't know what it was anymore. Because it was so long ago. But I will be revisiting them, so I'm looking forward to it, especially for the music and the gameplay. But I'm really looking forward to playing Devil May Cry 2 again, just because I was a huge acrobatic player. That's what I loved doing. Even though the graphics were toned down exponentially for Devil May Cry 2 compared to the first one, because they literally pumped that game out. It was very easy for sequels to come out, you know, for PS2.
Yeah.
They would just downgrade them a little bit, and then boom, you had a sequel. Change up the gameplay just a smidgen.
I wonder if this is important at all, whoever is buried here, because they have candles all over the place.
Well, if this is Dante's family's house, you have to remember, or understand that Sparda, like, even though he lost half of his devil power when he sealed Mundus away in the afterlife, when he came to Earth 2,000 years ago, or 3,000, I forget, he was kind of like seen as like this great leader, and you know, he had this vast civilization where he helped humanity.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to you about that kind of reminds me of the Norse mythology with Odin and Thor, which is really weird. Where actually Odin was half giant or half devourer according to Norse mythology, and actually the giants or the people that were half-blood like protected the regular humans, the weak humans, from the giants or the very evil like devourers in Norse mythology. And then Thor was a quarter devourer. So that is totally mimics like Odin totally mimics Sparda and
But see how these are like ancient
Dante,
ruins?
which is weird.
This is very possible like a civilization that Sparda used to be in. Also would explain why the sword would come back here. But you know, you talked about Norse stuff. Devil May Cry is based on a work of fiction, a very interesting one, Divine Comedy.
Oh.
So.
Oh, Dante's Inferno?
Yes, Dante's Inferno. And Dante actually had a son, or not a son, he had a brother named Virgil. So Virgil is based on the brother of Dante from Dante's Inferno.
I don't actually know that story at all, so that could explain why I'm totally lost and I have no idea what's going on half the time.
Because it's basically about Dante's journey into hell, and Devil May Cry, in its essence, a little bit is about Dante's journey into the afterlife and battling the afterlife.
Yeah.
Check and see if it still works.
Oh, we're gonna call Nico? Okay. Well, first we're gonna gather this stuff first, because sometimes Nico can destroy it whenever she appears, and then I won't be able to get these orbs. So.
I thought there were games based on Dante's Inferno before.
There was one on the PS3, and it was very dark.
That was a very graphic game.
I had to do it for my job.
I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
I could not forget that game.
Alright, you're on.
Keep squawking, little chickie.
What? He stole his cane! Why? Maybe that's what controls the demons.
It could be.
It doesn't matter now. Nico hates that bird. Oh my gosh!
Impressive.
That car would be mangled.
Whoa, so the bird... That was really interesting.
You just here to window shop?
No, I'm not window shopping. I'm gonna buy some upgrades. Yeah, maybe that cane is what's keeping the demons in servitude. I don't know. I thought it was the tattoos, but why would the bird... Unless he's just trolling V? I don't know.
Well, here's my theory. What if the tattoo summons them, but the cane keeps them in control?
Ah, that would be interesting. Yeah, the cane and the tattoos, they have to have some significance. But here's the thing. In Devil May Cry, one thing I will tell you guys and gals watching this, they don't really explain a lot over the course of the games. There's always plot holes in Devil May Cry because at its core, this is a fun action adventure thriller. Like, it's just supposed to be a game that's very reminiscent to Capcom's beat-em-up days, but like a third-person beat-em-up game. And you know, Capcom was really big with games like Final Fight and Knights of the Round and King of Dragons. They had a lot of beat-em-up games.
It's just supposed to be a crazy cool fantasy game.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes they invest in the story, but the directors over the course of the series have been kind of like...
Presence. It's the Devil Sword Sparda. No doubt about it.
We just go to make a good game, and story is sometimes secondary. Although, over the years, Devil May Cry 4 has a very interesting story. There's Sparda.
Whoa, this is some kind of ritual shindig, isn't it? You guys got the dance fever for Sparda, don't you? Whoa, easy on the dance floor there, partner.
I'll be taking that back. You know your endless worshipping isn't making the Sparda any happier.
You see, like, how he has a connection to Sparda? Like, that would mean he would have to have demon blood, which would make him either Virgil or another son of Sparda or descendant of Sparda.
Yeah, I mean, so if Nero was Virgil's son, then that would make Dante Nero's uncle.
Which would explain why Dante has brought him on, like, as kind of like his protege. Because in Devil May Cry 4, he says, oh, you're a descendant of Sparda. But in the game, he never says, you know, are you my son or Virgil's?
How would he not know if it's his own son?
Dante is very,
I'd rather not see it a second time.
You know what? Don't answer that.
I won't answer it.
So basically, he's like Diddy Kong, and Dante's like Donkey Kong.
I was gonna say he's kind of
It's
a womanizer that's
unexplained.
probably been all over the globe.
He's a relative.
And kind of like
Bad Dante.
a Bond character who, like, in every other game, there was a new female character. There was, which people didn't like because people really thought Trish was cool. So in Devil May Cry 2, when they brought like this lady assassin who was in love with Dante, you never really saw her again. But she's canon. She's only appeared in one game though.
Yeah, well, good thing Nero actually has a steady girlfriend then.
Yes, he does. He's the only one in the franchise that I know of that has a steady relationship, and he's still together with her. So, I did find out the ages of Dante and company for this game.
Okay.
Apparently in Devil May Cry 4, Dante was 38 years old. In the very first Devil May Cry story game, Devil May Cry 3, he was 19. In Devil May Cry 1 and the anime, he is 27. So
why did they make him age so fast, though? Why wouldn't they start him out at 20 in Devil May Cry 1?
Because him being 19, they made, like, important to why he was able... Like, right around 18, 19 is how he was able to use his demon power, because he was just this kind of normal dude a little bit, who was trying his best to embrace his human side.
Oh.
I don't know how old he was in Devil May Cry 2. I want to say, like, 30s. There's always a time jump in these games.
How was that thing stuck in the wall?
They didn't really explain it. It's just there.
It's like supernaturally stuck there.
Probably. I don't know how old Dante would be in Devil May Cry 5, but they said it takes place 4 to 5 years after Devil May Cry 4. So Nero, instead of being 19 now, he would be mid-20s.
Okay.
But V looks like he's 19.
Whoa, he shouldn't have dropped his weapon.
I think he's going to use the Sparda now. Although, good luck. Look at how weak and frail he is.
Wait, I thought his dad's name was Sparda.
Yeah, but also the sword is named Sparda.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
The reason why the sword is so powerful is because Sparda put his essence into the sword.
Sword is still too strong for me.
So close, though. So close. You got a lot of heart, kid. You really do. But you're a bit of a sissy in the strength department. Oh, hey. No offense, son. You know.
That kid Nero, he has the strength.
It speaks.
What'd you find, Shadow? Yeah, that sword weighs a lot. The only people that can wield it is Virgil, Dante, and Trish.
Wow.
Because it's basically like... Think of it like Excalibur. It's like super heavy, and only the people who are destined to wield it can use it.
Wait, she's not dead? Or he is?
Well, V knows something. Also, it looks like Dante's hair is black again.
Mm.
He doesn't look so good.
I don't even have the words. He's alive. He's alive.
The Devil's Sword Sparda was concealing Dante's presence.
How does one friggin' guy have so much luck, huh?
Oh my gosh.
V? No. Get a grip on yourself now. Come on.
If only you could defeat Urizen. If only...
What?
No.
V, no.
What are you doing, V?
If only you never existed.
Oh my gosh.
Then I...
It's Virgil.
No.
Oh.
But yeah,
What?
Dante was just in his human form now. You saw his black hair, right? S rank! Sweet.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, Virgil and Dante don't like each other, so that sibling rivalry has been there forever, and V just tried to kill Dante, so that's Virgil. Somehow. There's no way it can be anybody other than Virgil. I should have guessed it a while ago because of the name V.
I have to agree, though, because I don't think anyone else hates Dante that much.
No. Although, in Devil May Cry 3, he didn't really hate Dante, he just didn't agree with him.
Come here.
Whoa, that's Ava.
You need to hide, Dante. No matter what happens, you mustn't leave.
Oh, it's his mom?
Mm-hmm.
I need to find Virgil. I promise I'll be back. I know this is hard. You must listen to me. Be a big boy. A man, huh? If I don't return, you must run. By yourself, alone. You must change your name. Forget your past and start a new life. As someone else.
Oh, that's pretty heavy to put on a kid.
It's the first time we're seeing Ava in the flesh, though. She's always in a picture on Dante's desk or in the locket.
Yeah.
Never seen her, like, as an actual character model.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously something happened to her.
Yeah, she gets killed.
She fell on a banana peel?
And Dante's hair just turned white again, so he's back in his, super-powered mode.
Did he stab him?
Nope.
For a second there, I thought you were gonna shish kebab me.
I know how stubborn you can be. I thought it might be the only way to wake you.
Uh-huh.
What day is it?
The 15th of June.
A month? No wonder I'm so stiff.
Right, Sunshine. Now put a fire under it. We gotta get going because that annoying pimple Nero is making a beeline for Urizen, and if he gets there, he's gonna...
Hey,
Oh my gosh.
this is my gig. Leave Nero out of this.
If you could defeat Urizen, then I never would have dreamed of using that child. But Urizen is much stronger than we ever could have imagined.
Yeah, that's Virgil. Somehow. Dante has, like, a familiarity with the character of V. And they just supposedly met. You know, like a month ago or
Yeah,
whatever.
he seems to know who he is, definitely. Or, like you said, familiar around each other.
Oh, it stinks in here.
I know. Smells
Wait,
like hot garbage.
Trish is blonde?
Yep.
Oh, I thought she had black hair.
This
No.
is far worse than I thought.
There's no crime in turning tail, V. These things might be a little too much for you.
You're right. I'll leave the rest to you.
What? Whoa, my, V. All the way down here and turning tail, really? Huh?
One must always have an insurance policy.
Who was that guy? Can't believe he just ran.
No one special? Come on. Let's go clean up this garbage.
Oh my gosh. They didn't make it out.
First come, first serve on the targets, right?
Music to my ears. Hurry up, Dante.
See how Trish is using the Devil Sword Sparda?
Guess I get to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
If it really is you.
I forget how the Sparda chose her. I think Dante let her be worthy to wield the sword or something. I don't remember.
You gave her the passcode.
There's no passcode. It's like Thor's hammer. Only a few people can use it.
It's the code, it's food.
Okay. So anyway, guys and gals, that does it for this episode of Devil May Cry 5. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch.
Yay!
Join us tomorrow night for Awaken, Mission 10 on the Batman channel, Nightwing 01. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you with more content soon. God bless and happy gaming.
See